Hello and welcome to the 7th episode of the Oracle of Seasons Any Presents Speedrun tutorial, where it's time to tackle Dungeon 4, Dancing Dragon Dungeon. This is probably one of the first dungeons where health is gonna be a problem, so make sure you are fully healed, or at least close enough, so you don't have to worry about that. So once you enter here, I did mention before that you need bombs in this dungeon, so if you didn't get any bomb drops in the flowers, for example, with Moosh, there's this chest, contains 10 bombs. You can remember that. Nice backup. Once you come here, you hit the switch. And go over to the right side where you switch out your rod for bombs in order to blow up this wall. And there you have the pot puzzle. It's a pretty long puzzle that you have to do. You can start out by cutting out a gap in the middle so you can reach all the pots. Then start by pushing them outward. Especially on these 3 pots, you can let me push them back actually. You can go a little bit faster by after you push the last pot, you can go back to the middle pot in order to push it a little bit sooner than you would be able to push this pot. After you push the middle pot on the button, the other pots go outwards. You have to push them on their respective buttons. And here you want to push these 2 at a time. And finish up with the pots. If you stay a little bit lower in the room, you will take less time to drop, so you can make use of that sometimes. And then you go back. And you equip the feather and Pegasus seeds. So you can start using your seeds again in this room, for example. You can make that jump so you don't get slowed down by the water. Watch out for Zols, they can be in your way. Jump over there. You want to push this middle block and then the right one to the right, so you don't have to push 3 blocks. Again, you use the seed here. You don't have to jump over that first witch rope, but I like to. You can jump over the keys and you go down this stairwell. Over here there are 3 keys that can be in your way. Just make sure you don't get hit by them, or if you are unsure or if you are low health, you can pull out your sword. So, you have this room, and there are these platforms that spawn. There are 3 different patterns, you only need 2. First one, where you can jump over to the first platform, and then make sure you go a little bit fast so you can make that jump. I think it's maybe a little bit hard to notice on the VOD. So, just make sure that after the first cycle you can jump while the blocks are flashing. Then they are solid already, so you can use that. So once you get over here, you can push this block up, so you can get a little shortcut so you don't have to go all around. You can use a seed, do a nice jump, and open this chest. If you have half a heart or 1 heart, you can do a death warp by walking into the pit twice. It's basically a save and quit. It also brings you back to the start of the dungeon. So you can use that if you are really low on health. Or otherwise you can also walk back, or there are a few pots along the way with hearts that I will point out. Once you get over here, you can use speed and jump, so you can jump over the water. That room can be really annoying depending on the anti-carries. Let me see if I can get a better pattern. I have enough seeds for that. And generally you want to hold upright for these jumps so you can actually time. Wow. You can actually, because with the seeds you do jumps with 2 gaps, but diagonally you only do 1 gap, so you want to move diagonally over those spikes. And if you don't have seeds, you can just walk over them, and you want to make sure you don't move diagonally over the spikes, otherwise your jumps are gonna be too short. If you get over here, if you forgot about hearts, these 2 pots have hearts, so you can grab your bracelet, excuse me, to pick them up. You can dive under these rollers. You don't have to use the seat here, you can just make this jump straight up and go around the corner and enter this minecart. Depending on your seat count, you can do 2 different equips here. You can keep, if you have 2 seats or more, or if you want to save a seat, I guess you can remove the seat and keep the seats and the sword. If you have enough seats, then you can use a seat in this room, so you can run around fast to kill everything that you need to. And if you don't have enough seats, then you can pull out your feather and sword and grab this key. The problem with this key is it drops in the water, so if it actually lands in the water without you grabbing it, you have to dive for it and it pops up a text box. So you want to avoid that by either grabbing it in the air or while waiting under it, so you catch it as it drops. Here you can kill stuff if you want a hard drop. Here you can use your last seed. Make sure you charge your sword out. These shrouded stealth hosts take 2 hits to kill, so spin slashes kill them in 1 spin slash. So you ran out of seeds. These 2 pots have fixed Pegasus seed spawns. You will want them definitely. It's really useful. And switch back to the feather, jump over the stairs so you don't get slowed down. And continue on. You can push this block. You don't really want to use the seed here, you want to save it for later. You can use it here. It's a pretty long section. Here we have the spike room. If you feel confident with your seed, you can just do some nice jumps there and actually make a safe state. Over here. So you want to jump diagonally through those pits. Because diagonal movement is a bit slower than horizontal and vertical movement, so wow, that's why I made it safe. So yeah. Once you come over here, you want to enter it on the left side of this doorway. Jump as soon as you get to the spike and do 2 diagonal jumps in order to make it over. Don't jump too early, otherwise you won't make this first safe zone. So yeah, once more. Sometimes you get hit there on this spike. It's a small mistake, it doesn't matter that much hopefully. So here we have the mini-boss, Agunima. Agunima requires you to light these torches in order to make him vulnerable to your spins. So you can start charging your sword, and when he passes that torch, the second torch on the right, you can start lighting your torches. You can do 2 attacks, you have to relight them, and then use a single slash so you don't have to charge your sword, and then finish it off with the spin slash. So he takes 7 hits to kill. And while he's in his death animation, you can always check these bushes for extra ember seeds, which is nice. It's not necessary, but it may help out in the end. You can try doing that again. So once you get in, switch out your sword and grab your seed. You can always grab extra if you didn't have enough. You should have enough though. If you buy the second torch stand, you can start lighting the torches. Light them again. You have to look for this shadow, so you want to light these torches before he spawns. Oops, I forgot to spin slash. If you forget to spin slash, you have to do an extra cycle. Also, this fairy that he drops is really nice, and sometimes it's definitely worth to grab it, because there aren't many free hearts that you can grab almost in the second half of this dungeon. So let's continue on. You go out of here and grab the minecart. And you can kill stuff if you want to, doesn't matter. Then you switch out, grab your feather and Pegasus seeds again, and you use them this stealth is in your way, you can jump over him. And again, this room. You want to go fast, you can jump over the keys if they are in your way. You want to use 2 seeds here, one when you exit the minecart and one halfway through this maze. And then you get the slingshot. The slingshot is a really nice item. You can shoot seeds and do stuff with it, of course. And that's also the first thing that you are gonna do. You're gonna move back. All the way back to the first minecart in this section. Also use a seed here, I thought. Watch out for those spikes, I accidentally hit a lot of them. So you go back in here, grab the seed shooter, keep your seeds, you can keep them. And you have to light these 3 torches with your seed shooter. And then save and quit. You want to make sure that the chest starts spawning, so the puff cloud appears. Or the sound plays. The sound plays is also a good cue to know that you have actually lit the torch in time. So after that, go back. We're gonna leave that chest for now because the equips that we have right now make this route a bit more optimal. Because you have your seed shooter out, you can hit those switches. Watch out for those keys, they can be in your way. If you miss one, you have to go back through the cart. And that slows you down. Let me make a save state here. Because here is gonna be a tricky jump. You want to hug this block, jump, and hold right. Let me see if I can get back. No. In general, you don't want to hold up left or up right already, because then you will not make this block. This block is really nice to line up with. So you come in, make sure you grab your feather, wait a little bit, and then jump. Sometimes you are a little bit too short, or the keys are in your way. If the keys are in your way, then it's advised to just go around. So you come in, jump, make sure you don't overshoot it, and that you still have your seat, of course, otherwise you're not gonna make this final jump, and open this key block. Wow, keys, get out. Then you go into this right eye, the left part of this right eye. It contains the boss key. After you get that, you save and quit. Then you go back. So that chest that we spawned earlier, we still have to grab that. So you want to do that now. And actually used an extra seed somewhere. So you grab that key. Normally you want to use an extra seed here in order to make this jump. But I don't have enough seeds. I want to keep 1 seed for a tricky jump later. That I should include in this tutorial, of course. So we'll leave it at there. So after you get here, hopefully with your seeds still intact, you can equip your sword and kill seeds. Use your sword to take care of those stealthos that are in your way. You can push this block down and shoot this one. That's the easy way to do this. You can also grab your feather instead of your sword, which means you have to deal with the skeletons here, and you can try to avoid this guy. Actually, I accidentally hit it. You can also do that. But the sword is pretty much a safer choice. Especially in this room. You want to use your gil seeds in this case. You can warp them out in 1 shot. Like that. Sometimes if you hit them as fast as soon as they spawn, you can get a second one if they are really close by. I can actually try to show that. Let me make a save state here so I don't lose all these seeds. So those gil seeds make them warp away. It doesn't actually kill them. Let me grab that heart to get rid of the beeping. So once you enter this room again, they will be back. So if you get in with your sword, for example, you can get a gil seed. And if they are close to the pit, you can always knock them in. Yeah, I was a little bit too late for that. Let me go back and try again. But yeah, you want to make sure to look out for those opportunities where you can hit 2 wish ropes in 1 cycle. When you get out of the cart, it's really tough to do that. Especially with the combination with your sword, you can knock them in and try to get the other one. That was unfortunate actually that I got hit. Well, let me load the save state again that we made earlier, so we still have those seeds that we need. Also, if you come here with your sword instead of your feather, you can kill these for hearts. Sometimes they drop them. It's like the only heart drop that you can get here. Up until the boss. So, once you get over here, you want to switch out your Pegasus seeds and feather. Because there's this jump you can make. If you are good enough, of course. You want to line up exactly on this this line in order to not die. I died, so let me actually try this again. There's a heart. Wow, I actually lost a lot. So you want to make sure you jump on a divider line between tiles again, because otherwise you jump in the center of the pit and it's more likely to get sucked in. So if you have your seed, you want to line up, jump, and hopefully make it. It's a pretty tricky jump. Horizontal jumps are always tricky. So you want to be careful with that. Let me grab that heart and make a save state here, I guess. Make it easier. So usually this will be your last seeds. If you don't have any seeds left, you can actually switch out the seed shooter with the ember seeds. And also the Pegasus seeds if you prefer. You can shoot these 2 torches and go over. So this is the pre-final room, I guess. This is where you can get a few heart refills if you want to. What equips did I have? Normally you come over with Pegasus seeds and feather. So you can avoid the stealthos. These 2 pots contain hearts. This pot contains an ember seed if you need to. But generally you should be okay with your sand seeds that you have gotten hopefully before or not. So upcoming is the boss fight, Gohma. You may know Gohma from previous games, other games. Gohma is a pretty often returning boss, the spider. So he charges at you, he moves around, and when you are standing in front of him, he tries to grab you and it does 1.5 parts of damage. So you want to avoid that. You can jump over him, that's the general way to avoid him. So let's go over the fastest way, not really the fastest way, I guess the more consistent way. Which is going in with your seed shooter and 10 seeds and jumping. You want to avoid this claw. This claw blocks your shot, so if you line up a little bit to the right of the center of Gohma, you can actually shoot past the claw. Or when he lifts his claw, you can also shoot him. So sometimes he moves diagonal. There's what is it? Horizontal. Yeah, horizontal. If he moves horizontal, you cannot keep your position, so you can get 3 shots in on every cycle. If you run out, you want to switch out to ember seeds. I lost my position. That should have been it. And it takes 15 seeds to kill him in the Japanese version. I believe in the English version it may take a little bit more, but I haven't checked that. So that's the way you want to do. So once you come in, switch to sand seeds, get your position, and that's the wrong position. There we go. You can get 3 shots in on every cycle. That's it. That's the boss fight. So if you had a sand seed drop along the way, you would have 20 seeds, otherwise you have 18 seeds. Either way, you only need 15 seeds to finish him off. And if you run out, you can switch to ember seeds. And if you run out of ember seeds, you have to use mystery seeds. The thing about shooting mystery seeds is that it randomizes the seed you shoot out of the other 4. So you have a 1 in 2 chance of actually hitting him with the right seed. So let's go back. There's also a different way where you don't have to do the awkward positioning, I guess, which is the classical way, the traditional way, the intended way, however you want to call it. Where you come in, you charge your sword, and you start destroying the claw. If you stand a little bit to the left, you can actually keep a great distance from Gohma so he doesn't charge you, but that you can hit the claw. So after his first phase, he starts spawning these critters. And again, you have to shoot him. If you have ember seeds, you can use ember seeds. If you have sand seeds, it's preferred to use them since they aren't necessary in the rest of the run. And this only takes 5 hits, but you have to deal with Gohma's RNG of opening his eye and the spawning critters that appear in the second phase. So let me actually do that again, correctly this time. So jump in, charge your sword, get this position right, just a little bit left of Gohma, so you can get at least like 6 hits in like I did before. And it takes 10 hits to kill the claw, and that's what you want to do. And switch back to the sand seeds too. Don't necessarily need the feather actually, so you want to switch over the feather. And wait for him to open his eye. Or her, I don't know what gender Gohma is actually, I'm sorry. These things like to drop seeds sometimes, so you can get the seed drops. Kill seeds for example, which is really nice. And that's the 2 ways you can go after Gohma. In general, the first way with using your sand seeds at starting getting that position is pretty consistent. It depends only on your skill, on your positioning, I guess. Sometimes you just don't get it. You have to keep moving. You can still get a hit in while he's charging his attack. So that when you have a little bit of time to maneuver around, and if you run out, again switch to Ember Seed and finish him off. And that's it. That's Gohma. I think Gohma is female actually. Once you come over here, the essence room, jump over the stairs again, don't forget. Here you have the essence, the soothing rain. And that's it for Dungeon 4. Dungeon 4 is pretty tough, so make sure you keep track of your health. Practice a few jumps, especially with those spikes at the start of the dungeon. If you can dodge that, that keeps you healthy for Agunima, the Miniboss. That's the toughest part, I guess, about this dungeon. So thank you for watching and tune in for the next episode.